I want to thank you for asking me to come and talk to you today. I have to be honest with you, I'm a little bit nervous. This is the first time I've done a program like this for you, other than just a few minutes here and there at our meetings. What I'm planning on doing today is giving you an overview of the resources that we have available to us as Master Gardeners. And I'm going to touch on not only educational information, but also the equipment needs that we have, the facilities that we have, just basically everything that well, it's not going to be everything because it's not going to be a complete of all resources, but I want to touch on the resources that we have available for you as Master Gardeners to function in your role as extenders of non-commercial horticultural and pest management information. I took that right out of the book. But when I was preparing for this workshop, I wasn't quite sure what to do. I wanted to find that one bit of area, that one place I could point you all to that would answer every one of your Master Gardener questions. And then it came to me. I knew where you could get all that information in one spot. So I gave Vince a call and I said, hey Vince, you know, I'd like to give out your phone number and then my presentation will be like 4 minutes and we'll be done. And he said, no, you can't do that, but come on over to the house and we'll talk about it. I'm starting to work on this snail project. So I went over to the house and found him working on his snail project. He's answering that age-old question, does beer really help or hurt the snails? And well, we're seeing what it does for the farm advisor emeritus. He was very happy. That being said, I do want, on a serious note, what I'd like to say about with regards to Vince at this point is that he has still continued to remain part of our program. And we're very lucky and very blessed to have Vince as part of our program. And I want to encourage each and every one of you that when you do have questions, whether they're questions about the UC system, the man's been involved with the system for over 30 years, or better about a horticultural issue, the man is a walking encyclopedia of horticultural information, please feel comfortable to contact him. You can do it via either email or phone number, and he really does welcome those phone calls as he's moving into his retirement, and he and Rosie are out doing some things. But I did want to make a plug just to encourage you all to continue to be in contact with Vince and support him as he supports us. So now on to the program. What I want to do today is look at the type of resources that we have available to us here in San Diego County, and I'm going to break the program up into 2 different sections. The first section I'd like us to talk about some of the in-house things that we have. Some of the things that we have here as the University of California Cooperative Extension and the Farm and Home Advisor's Office. I want to talk about some of the things that we have available with regards to the Master Gardener program. And then also about San Diego County, or the County of San Diego. What kind of services do we have available through them? Then we're going to talk about some other resources we have here locally in San Diego County. Then I'm going to give you a little bit of a break. We're going to come back and we're going to then focus on some statewide activities. I want to look at the UC system. I want to look at some of the other departments and agencies that are available in California. And then we're actually going to go spend a little bit of time nationally and look at some of the services that are available, some of the information sources that are available to us nationally. And then I've got a little section on the end, which I'm not going to really get too much into, but it's just a little bit and beyond in some of the new technology that's coming up. One of the things that I'd like to do in that area is just share with you a few mobile devices. For those, and I see lots of iPads and iPhones and whatnot out here that have some information that I can point you towards as we look at moving into that area of information sharing. Okay? Any questions before we get started? Everybody here okay? If you need to get up and use the restroom, you all know where they are. Please feel free to do so. It's a fairly casual presentation. Okay, the first thing I'd like to talk about is the County of San Diego, the Farm and Home Advisor's Office. And I just want to make sure that you all are aware of what it actually is that we have here in San Diego County. We are a division of the University of California and Department of Ag and Natural Resources, and we have 2 locations here in San Diego County. We have an office here in the Kearney Mesa complex at the COC, or just outside the gates on Hazard Way, and then we also have a facility up in North County. How many people were not aware that we had a facility in North County? Most of you do, that's good. Okay, we have a facility up in North County. It's in the county complex that's on Carmel Drive, next to the hotel there, right off Twin Oaks Road.
San Marcos.
San Marcos, what did I say?
East Carmel Street.
East Carmel Street. Okay, then we've got staff here that I'd like to talk to you a little about. We're going to get a little bit more in detail with regards to those individuals that are available to you as a resource, as an information resource, and to help you out with different activities. Then we're going to talk about some of the equipment that we have available through the Cooperative Extension Office that's available to your needs. Now, what I'd like to do now is show you our website. So this is our the UC Cooperative Extension website, and I'm going to go through quite a few websites in this presentation because I think there's some real good information that's available through the internet locally and all the way through internationally. But this is our county website for the Farm and Home Advisor's Office, and you can see over on the left-hand side of the screen, we've got our advisors program areas. We've got home and human resources, we've got natural resources, and we've got agricultural resources. And each one of our advisors, which are academics with the university, have their programs housed under these areas. What I'd like to show, and I encourage those of you who haven't gone to this site to please go to this website and check it out to find out what is actually taking place here in San Diego County. We don't have time today to go through all that, but I did want to point out to you some of the information that I thought was going to be of specific interest to you, and it's housed underneath the home horticulture area. Okay, great. Now, underneath the home horticulture area, we've got two areas of information. We've got a Master Gardener program, which is our program that's connected to the University of California. And then we have another program called Healthy Garden, Healthy Home. I encourage, there's some really good information under both of these sites with regards to educational experiences that are available to you. Under the UC Master Gardener program area, there's a direct link to your website, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But in addition to that, the films that we're doing, the videotaping that we're doing of your advanced ed classes are going to actually be housed on YouTube and have a link through this area. So those advanced ed programs that you're not able to attend, we will be taping. You're going to be able to view those through this website. So that's something for you to know for the future, so mark that down. And I forgot to tell you about something. At the beginning of when you came into the room today, you were given an outline of my presentation today. It has all the websites, all the information on it that you'll need to know. So you don't need to worry about writing any of that down. But what I encourage you to do is I say things that are of specific interest or something that you want to go look at later, make a note on that right-hand side in the notes section so that later on you can go into that. Now, under the Healthy Garden, Healthy Home area, we've got a lot of educational programs and activities that I'd like to share with you. First, I'm going to be real shameless and talk about some programs that we have coming up here in the next few weeks. And I've got flyers of these set up at the back of the program. We've got workshops taking place in English and Spanish on beginning gardening or managing pests in your garden. We've got one taking place on tomatoes. It's going to once again be both in English and Spanish. These flyers are in the back of the room, and I encourage you to pick them up and help share them with the community. Another thing that we've done with the Healthy Garden program, and I want to show this to you here, and I think it's a good resource for you and for the individuals that you work with, is that we have actually taken those workshops that we've done in the past. We've focused on citrus, we've focused on growing tomatoes, we've focused on raising food for your house. And we've taken and we've actually made online presentations that are in the neighborhood of anywhere from 45 to 50 minutes that are a narrated PowerPoint presentation that takes you through an entire workshop. These are wonderful resources not only for you to get some basic information about these topics, but also for you to refer the public to. A lot of times we'll get calls from folks that say, I'd love to come to that workshop, but I don't have, I'm going to be out of town, or I don't have time, or I don't have transportation. This is a wonderful thing to shoot them to because all these presentations are online and available for them to look at. And I'm excited to say that with the coming of 2013, we're going to be adding ants to this arsenal of workshops. So we'll have an English and an ant presentation in Spanish and in English. Some other sources of information that we have under the Healthy Garden, Healthy Home program that I encourage you all to use, and it's a question that we get a lot when individuals are asking, I'd like to get a recommendation for a specific contractor, landscaper, maintenance, landscape individual. And you know, we can't promote any one individual company, but what we can do is share them with these publications here. They're available online and through hard copy in our office that look at the process of not only hiring, but a worksheet on taking somebody through how to hire a company. Now this specifically says how to hire a landscape contractor, but it's really can be based on any type of service that you were looking at providing. Okay, any questions about this information? The one last thing I'd like to say on this slide is that then down here on the bottom, and this is usually the case with just about all the websites I'm going to share with you, is that there are links to other useful information. So here as you look at the bottom, you can see there's the link to your website, the Master Gardener website, to the UC's fruit and nut page, to the ornamental horticulture page, to the veggie crops, to the weeds page, to the IPM page. So just some real useful links that are housed here in this page. Okay? Okay, any other questions? Next thing I want to talk about is our advisor staff. And I just want to go down real quick so that you all have an idea of actually the folks that we have involved with our program here in San Diego. We have a staff of 9 academics. We're extremely lucky. Let me really emphasize that. Most counties don't have half of what we have. We have 9 academics here in San Diego County that work on these issues. Jim Beckby works on floriculture. Dave Shaw works with turf and landscape issues. Carl Bell works with invasive plants. Lee Johnson, who was our Sea Grant advisor and worked with marine issues, actually now works with coastal resources and water quality issues, so very in tune to what Master Gardeners are doing. Gary Bender works with avocado and citrus and deciduous fruit. Romero Lobo works with small farms and ag business. Cheryl Willem works with integrated pest management. Patty Woody Swanson, who was here to speak with us just a few months ago, works with consumer science and nutrition and family issues. And then Sue Manglelan works with youth development issues. Now, most of the individuals that are on this slate work with commercial agriculture. And that needs to be understood, is that most of what they do is focused towards the commercial agriculture individual. However, they are a resource to us as Master Gardeners. And so what I would like to do is ask you to follow this as a very simple procedure. If you've got a question on avocados or on a small farms issue that's specifically related to yourself, please feel comfortable to contact these individuals, either as an individual or as a Master Gardener, and let them know that you're asking a question about something that pertains to you as an individual. If, however, you get a question that, let's say, comes through the hotline, or you get it in an Ask a Master Gardener booth, it's coming in from the public, that's a Master Gardener issue. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is to funnel those questions through me, and then if I can't answer them, I'll get them to the appropriate advisor. It's kind of the relationship that I have developed with our academic staff so that they don't get overwhelmed with questions about Master Gardener issues, but they are able to answer the things that you as an individual citizen of San Diego County may have a question on. The thing and it's something that some of you may not actually have drawn the connection to, but the 2 individuals I really want to point out to you that I think are underutilized by us are Sue Manglelan and Patty Wooten Swanson. Sue Manglelan works with youth development issues, and she has the entire 4-H youth program at her ability. And what I would encourage you to do is, if you're working with school gardens, you're working with youth, she's an absolute wonderful resource, not only for content information for curriculum, but also for the issues of dealing with those age groups. Absolutely incredible. If we're looking at food safety issues, Patty Wooten Swanson, a great individual to contact. So those are two of the advisors that I think may be a little bit underutilized. The rest of them I think you're all really familiar with. You've probably seen them in training classes, and you've done work with them out in the community. But just wanted to let you know about them, okay? Any questions about those folks? Wonderful, wonderful people. And once again, we're lucky to have that kind of staff here in San Diego. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the program staff, and these are the folks like me. These are the individuals that work with those principal investigators, the academics that actually coordinate the programs. And so I wanted you to be aware of the efforts that are going on in our county. We've got Jan Gonzalez, who's working with our gold spotted oak borer and our wildfire program. We've got Laura Lima, who also works with the GSOB program and invertebrate pests. Michelle Land is absolutely wonderful, brilliant young woman. She's working with coastal resource issues. Loretta Bates, Dr. Loretta Bates, we've got some PhDs in the little lowly staff here, like myself. She's working with water quality issues and was working with the diet preppies issue. Unfortunately, the funding is not available for that anymore. Marianne Whitehead works with Jim Bethke on two very important issues in our county right now, the INAT issue and the Asian citrus psyllid long Bing issue. She's working with that. Linda Corrales and Mary Carton work with the Ford Youth Development Program, great resource for information and working with youth groups. And then Stella Weaver, which many of you know Stella, Shirley Salvo, Mary Macer, and Margarita Swartz all work with the nutrition program. And they work actually with either youth or with adults. So depending on the population that you're working with, you may want to connect with one or the other. Stella works specifically with youth. I want to say that Shirley works with youth, Mary and Margarita work with adults, and there's a little bit of crossover, but great staff folks to be connected to. Those are the program individuals that work within our office. Now we've also got some administrative staff that are of assistance to us as well. Lori Renstrom is our office manager, and she's absolutely wonderful with regards to making sure that the Master Gardener program is going to continue to thrive and be active here in San Diego County by looking at supporting us and helping us provide funding. She's the one who's finding the resources to fund my salary. She's just a fantastic individual. Amy Long is our accounting individual. If you have any questions with regards to accounting, which isn't necessarily as applicable for you guys because we have our own Master Gardener Association and we don't do as much through the county office, but she's great with that. You all know Roland, Christina, and Aaron, the folks at the front desk. And you notice that I've got an asterisk on a few of the, on 4 of these guys. These are the keepers of the keys. If you ever need to check anything out of our office, whether it's equipment or educational materials, those are the folks that can get you access to those keys. Just connect with them at the front desk. Hogan Tom, who is our volunteer service coordinator, in a sense kind of fills in that role that Colleen Chumberland was in, although his role is a little bit different and works a little bit more administratively than Colleen did, but he works specifically with volunteer services. Once again, we're really lucky to have him. He's started out in San Diego, went and worked on the state 4-H program for many years, and then has come back and is now working with us here in San Diego. Gary Tanasaki, for those of you who know Gary, he is just basically a really good guy who will make sure that anything we want to have happen happens. He's absolutely an incredible field assistant, and we couldn't deal without him. And then Ryan Crayson, who is our IT, social media, videotape guy. He's actually offered his services to assist us in the development of materials and putting YouTube things online. One of the projects that we're talking about right now and using his expertise in is looking at going out to some of the detention facilities that Joni, help me, I'm blanking on the name. Growing Opportunities, the new group that's working at the at-risk youth folks out in the facilities is going to be coming out and doing some information or some videos that we can then get up on the web for them. So this is a group of staff that are available for us to help here at the office. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about equipment that we have that's available for you guys to check out. And I've actually gotten a couple emails and questions in the last couple days about, gosh, I wish we had this, and we actually do have this for you to use. So in our office, we do actually have laptop computers that you can check out for use in your programs. We've got LCD projectors that you can use. We have portable speakers that you can take out to events and activities. We've got screens. Carol Graham loves these. We've got inflatable insects that are actually correct. We can do copying, printing, and make posters for you in our office. We just need to have a little bit of lead time and know what you need. We have an IPM kiosk, which you have all, everybody's seen the IPM kiosk, right? Anybody not seen that? Okay, good. We have the IPN kiosk that's available for you. We've got chairs, tables, easels. We've got tip card stands. We've got promotional items, and I gave out a couple of them today. Each one of you got the little magnifier. These are all things that we have in our office that are available for you as Master Gardeners to take out to your events and activities, and I encourage you to use them. I have a question for you. You have to be honest with me because these are really expensive. If you don't have one of these, I'm going to give you one now. We created pest wheels. They may not have a pest wheel. If you don't have a pest wheel, come and grab one after the work. I brought enough for everyone. But these actually cost a couple bucks a piece for us to create them. So if you've already got one, you don't need more than one. If you don't have one, please take one. And this is available for you to come and take to your events and activities. This is something that we would say you don't want to give out to everybody that happens to stop by your booth to ask you where the restroom is. But for those folks that are really interested in pests and diseases here in San Diego, this is a great thing to have. A little bit of an update. We're creating another one of these right now on weeds. You all have actually given us the input on the 12 weeds that you want us to include. We expect to have that out sometime over the summer. Vehicle use. Did you guys know that we have vehicles that you can use? We do. And you know what those vehicles come with? A gas card. It's limited use, but it's limited use, but we do have vehicles available. We've got several 7-person vans, and we've got a Civic and an Escape and something or else. If we're in a position where the Master Gardeners need to, let's say, do a road trip somewhere, I'll give a perfect example. We all went up to an IPM training up at UC Riverside last August. Instead of having 15 Master Gardeners drive their cars up, we can coordinate carpools and take those vehicles along. We did a tour to the detention facilities a couple days ago all around the county. It was a full-day tour. We took 7 of us in one of those vehicles instead of having Master Gardeners use your vehicles in your time. So it's available. The one caveat to that is that I really need to be present when it's going. But that's not that unusual because I like to be present when you guys are going out and doing things. So, but do keep that in mind. We have those vehicles available. And if you want to do something and you need a vehicle, now you got more of a reason to invite me to come along. I can be a chauffeur. I have that hat. And we also have a couple Watershed models. This is something for those folks that are working with the school garden groups, which I know is a huge number of you, these Watershed models are wonderful visuals to help educate children with regards to the watershed and water quality issues and how water moves through our landscape. So we've got these materials available to us. Okay. With regards to facilities, there are some facilities we have available to you too. At our old office, we basically had one conference room. Now at this new complex, we've got a conference room that'll seat 49. We've got a library that'll seat 12. We've got a lot of storage for all the Master Gardener materials that we have here at our office that you guys can utilize. It's on the first floor of our building. We have a kitchen. The one thing I ask is when you use the kitchen, use it as a kitchen. Don't use it as a meeting room because our office uses it as their break time and they don't want to go into a meeting when they're supposed to be on break. Also over at this facility, we've got another 4 rooms that are available for us to check out. So if you're interested in reserving any of those facilities at our office, connect through Roland. If you want to get any of those facilities that are here, we have to do that through the county. So just get in contact with me and we'll be able to get you connected with those facilities. The one thing I'll let you know with regards to the COC facilities is typically there's only a 3-month leeway that they'll allow us to book those buildings unless it's a special circumstance. So, like our fall or spring seminar that's coming up where we basically have the entire campus booked for May 5th, which is 4th, which is a first. So we're real excited about that. Okay, any questions about our office? Marilyn?
The kitchen.
If you wanted a cup of coffee, is there a kitty to put money into to help
the cost for the coffee, or are we able to get a cup of coffee out of the kitchen?
That was a good question. The question was if you want to have a cup of coffee or if you want to have some water while you're here at working, let's say the Port Line, or you're at the office for a meeting, can you use the coffee and stuff that's in that office? Since I don't eat and drink, I really can't answer that question.
I've seen you with Ralph, that's not
No. What my recommendation would be is if it's a one-time shot, I wouldn't worry about it because it's something that is expected for you as a visitor to our office. But if it's something that you see that every time you come in to do the port office, you'd like to grab a cup of coffee or get some water, and you feel like you would like to donate a little bit to that fund, please feel free to do so. And what I would ask you to do is to connect with, let us go backwards. It's not going backwards and now I can just Okay, with regards to the Master Gardener Program and the resources that we have available to you, the first one I want to talk about is the hotline of the Port Line office. That office has so much information in it that really needs to be utilized by you as Master Gardeners. It has a resource library, it has a school garden library, it has on the desk between the two computers, there's several different binders of information that include all the resources, or all the offices here in San Diego County, different vendors in San Diego County with regards to where you can get nematodes, where you can get beneficial insects, that type of a thing. There's a roster in there with regards to all the different Master Gardeners that are involved in the program. Take a look at that information when you're in the office. One of the things that we see is that a lot of times when folks will come through and they'll work with the Port Line, they'll be looking for something and they'll leave us a note and they'll ask for, where is this or where is that, or we should include this. And probably 9 times out of 10, that information that they're asking for is included in those white binders that are kept on that countertop right between the two computer terminals. So make yourself, next time you're in the office or next time you're around, make yourself familiar with the information that's in those binders. Okay, great, that's good. Then let's see, with regards to other information, equipment that Master Gardeners have available, very much like our office. We've got tables, chairs, tablecloths, we've got canopies, we've got laptops, we've got projectors, we've got portable speakers. We actually have some slide projectors, believe it or not. They're still in use. And we actually have a digital camera as well, though it's probably not as useful now since everybody's phone and iPad can take digital slides. How many of you were aware that we have an office space dedicated to Master Gardeners in that office? Just a few. We've got a cubicle that's got it's got a desktop computer that's there available for you to come in and do work on with all the office supplies that you need. What I would ask for you to do that is to just connect with one of our board members, specifically most likely Paul, just to let him know that you're going to come in and be doing anything. But we've got that space that's set aside for how many people know where I used to sit? Where the big cockroach was? Okay, 2 cubicles down from that. So if you all know where Carl Bell is, right across from him, but right back in that back part. So it's a real nice quiet area for you to use. Okay, then we also have exhibit guides, resource guides. We have exhibits for you. There's actually 9 different topics that encompass 12 different exhibits: citrus, tomatoes, invasive plants, water conservation, school gardens. These are all exhibits that are available for you to check out and take to activities, and they all have a resource guide that goes along with them. We have a speakers bureau. Marcia, is it about a dozen folks that are involved with the speakers bureau now? A little over a dozen individuals that have indicated that they've got an expertise with regards to information in a specific area. We've got educational handouts. Joyce was talking about a little earlier about the tomato guide. We've got a tomato guide, a vegetable guide, a citrus guide. We've got information on the safe use of pesticides. We've got information on biological controls. All these materials that are available for you to take out to your events and activities. We've got all the pest tip cards, or I shouldn't say we got all of them. We've got a couple dozen of the pest tip cards. We've got past garden clippings available for you to access, and I'm going to show you where you can access those in a little bit. We have the Master Gardener membership. Believe it or not, we're going to create this. I can't believe we haven't created it at this point, but we're going to create a database that's actually going to look at you all as individuals, and not only look at your interests, but look at your knowledge, the things that you know about, the things that you could teach, and look at the skills, your computer abilities, your parliamentary procedure. We're going to put all that in a database that you're going to be able to start to actually look at your membership. 260 plus people strong with an incredible knowledge base, and we're going to see if we can organize it a little bit more and get it available for you guys to have a little easier access to. And then we're also putting together, or planning to put together, a photo gallery of images that you can use in your presentations and workshops with regards to home horticultural issues. Okay? Now, I can't get there from here, but you guys all have access. Everybody knows where the Master Gardener website is. Put your hand up if you know where it's at. I want to see hands go up because I keep thinking these things, you're going to hand it down. Okay, and you all know where the internal website is? Okay, great. How frequently do you guys go to those sites? Every day? Okay. How about a little bit? How about none at all? I would strongly want to encourage you to go to those websites and make yourself familiar with regards to the resources that are available there. On our external website, we've got a frequently asked question. It's got over 50 questions of topics that are typical for consumer to ask. They're drawn from the questions that we get. We've got our growing guides, which include the tomatoes, the veggies, the citrus. Then on our internal website, we've got a thing that's called a Hotline Helper. It was put together by Mort Brigadier, and it's a wonderful resource to the publications that are available through the UC, organized by topic. And that's available there. We've got a wonderful presentation that Britta Kuhl put together on rain and gray water usage. There's great information that's available on your internal website, so I encourage you all to do that and take a look at that. And I'm going to come back to this in a little bit, but the VMS, I think there's some areas in the VMS that are probably underutilized by us as an organization, and so I'll address that when I get to a slide where it's actually at. Okay, so let's move on. Any questions about the Master Gardener information? Okay, let's move on to San Diego County. In San Diego County, we've got 3 different departments that I'd like to focus on and give you a little bit of information about and let you know some of the services that they make available. Once again, go to these websites when you're at home, take a look at it, really search around and see the different types of things that they have. If you look at our Ag Weights and Measures website, how do I keep doing that?
Green button.
The green button? There we go. By the end of this, I may get this down. This is the homepage to the Ag Weights and Measures Department. And although they're a regulatory organization and they really focus on working with the commercial industry, they have a lot of information available to us as the regular citizens of San Diego County. And if you look down here, we can go on their website and we look here and what's the buzz. This is an area where they put all the new and breaking news that's taking place here in San Diego County. So this is an area that I would encourage you all to maybe bookmark and come back and take a look at. Okay? Now, if you look over here on the left-hand side, we've got some the departments that they're involved with, the topic areas that they work at. But what I'd like us to do is to go to 2 specific pages, and that is going to include Pat Nolan and Tracy Ellis's area of expertise. So Pat Nolan is the county plant pathologist, and on her website, There are two things I want to let you know about. One of them, there's a wonderful overview of her office and everything that her office does, and it's included in a video. And you can see the clip is right there. Check that out when you've got a few extra minutes. It's a wonderful presentation that was created by the county about her office. The next thing I want to do is just to make you aware, for those of you who were not, is that the county will actually take a look at plant samples and do a diagnostic on plant samples if there's any diseases or issues with regards to that material, and to do that for free. The guidelines of how you need to submit that are listed right here, but basically they can bring it into the office here in Kearney Mesa or to their office in San Marcos, and it'll go into Pat's lab, and then within a week to 10 days, they'll get information back on those, on the sample that they did. Now the same thing is true with Tracy Ellis's office. Okay, Tracy is our county entomologist. She's actually replaced Dave Kellum, who retired this past year. And if you go on to Tracy's website, it looks at some the information she has available. She looks at bees and bee issues. Once again, she can also do a diagnostic on any insects that may come through and identify that. And she also has a section that's on hot topics with regards to pest issues here in San Diego County. So you can see there, right underneath the bee areas, her current hot topics, where she's talking about some of the new insects and diseases that are around. And if you click this little other insects area, it takes you to the insects in San Diego County and gives you status reports information with regards to those insects. Okay? Now, the next website that I want to go through a couple of these, because this has taken a little bit longer than I had intended, and so I think I'm just going to talk about them, and since you've already got the websites. The next department I want to talk is the Wildlife Damage Management Program, and that's a service that through Ag Weights and Measures, what they'll do is they'll actually, for a fee, and I think the fee started at $100, but if you've got an issue with regards to wildlife that's being disruptive or damaging your property, they will actually come out and work with that issue for you. So that's a service that you should know about. For those folks that call and say, I had a raccoon that came and just ripped all the plants out of my raised bed and replanted them, and he came and did it again, this is an option for those individuals. The next department I want to talk about is the Department of Environmental Health and Vector Control. And vector control is a real, they're basically looking at those organisms in San Diego County that are causing disease issues with regards to what they're spreading. Okay. And there's a couple things I wanted to point out to you on their website. One of them is with regards to their rat inspection program. They do a free rat inspection program, so if somebody calls and they've got issues with regards to rats, what the county will do is they'll actually come out, do an inspection of the property, public or on private property, provide them with a toolkit on how to help them take care of the rat problems, and assist them in that way. They also have an update here with regards to the INAT program, and where we currently are sitting at San Diego County with regards to the INAT service. And another thing I just kind of wanted to bring to everybody's attention is that there is a map of where the mosquito fish for the West Nile virus and fight the bite is that they have mosquito fish available throughout San Diego County. And I think there's 10 different locations, and there's a listing here of all the different locations in San Diego County where those fish are available. Okay.
Scott?
Yes?
I have a quick question. So if the property next door, they have a pond, a huge pond, so we could suggest to them that they could get some fish to help prevent, not that as a master gardener, personally.
You could suggest, as a master gardener, you could give them information with regards to this service that's provided by the county, and and you can let them know that this would alleviate or help alleviate the mosquito issues that there are in the community. Stephen?
Scott, so the guys who come up to the house to inspect for rat damage or rat, they actually, with the homeowner's permission, can go inside the homes to inspect attics, that sort of stuff, or is there limitations on what they do?
That's the question was, are there limitations with regards to what the inspectors can do with regards to when they're invited to a private property to do a rat inspection? Stephen, honestly, I need to check with the vector control about that, and I'll get back to you on that and find out. I don't know if they actually just stay outside and they do visual inspection of, it looks like this is an area where rats may be entering through an attic or under a house, or these are wood piles that are probably drawing the rodents in, or if they'll actually go in and actually do an inside inspection.
I've had them come to my house, and they won't come in your house, but they'll tell you get rid of all your bird feeders, your feeder, and that kind of stuff they see, or like fruit trees, what's attracting them and
Okay.
stuff like that.
So what Margaret's,
Not come in the house.
yeah, from what Margaret's saying is they will come and do the inspection, but it sounds like they won't go into the house. I will double check with County Ag, or not County Ag, with Environmental Health and Vector Control and let you know about that. Okay? Okay, the last county department I want to tell you a little bit about comes out of our Department of Public Works, and it's the Watershed Protection Program. Marcia Cook, who is the staff person there that works specifically with the issues that Master Gardeners will be related to, is a real advocate of the Master Gardener program. She's probably the one individual at the county that is really responsible for us continuing to get funding for programs like Healthy Garden, Healthy Home. She also has some programs with regards to stormwater pollutants that are specifically related to residential information and things that you would need to know with regards to pesticide use and disposal, fertilizer use and disposal, with regards to green waste or yard waste and disposal. She's real good information, so I would connect with her. On their website, they also have an IP, or a best management practices, or a BMP toolbox. That's a wonderful resource with regards to practices that you can recommend to individuals that they utilize in their home to address these issues of stormwater protection. Okay? They're also just in the process, and I just got an email about it, and I'll forward this information out to you all, that the county's actually started to do a rainwater harvesting program where they're going to be providing rain barrels at a reduced or no cost. And this is coming through Marcia's office, and I'll go ahead and forward that information to you. I tried to see if I could find anything about it on our website, but it wasn't, hadn't been posted yet. So now I want to take, and I'm going to go over this next section a little bit quickly, because I'd like to keep us on target in the second half of the program. I really would like to focus on some of the things that we have for UCIPM, but I want to talk about some of the other resources that we have available here in San Diego County. The first one that I have listed are the 3 community colleges that have horticultural related programs. These are absolutely wonderful resources for us as a Master Gardener program. At Cuyamaca College, they have a wonderful ornamental horticulture program. Miracosta College has a wonderful horticulture program. Southwestern's focus is really on landscape and nursery technology. Each one of these facilities is staffed with a wonderful group of faculty and assistant faculty that present these courses. It's a great resource for us as we're looking at drawing on speakers for us to use for programs that we do as Master Gardeners. In fact, many of the folks that work at our office are adjunct professors at Miracosta College. Gary Bender, Dave Shaw, our Val Milano, our previous county director, all work at Miracosta College. Carolyn Kennan, who does half of the workshops that we do for Healthy Garden, Healthy Home, is on faculty there. Claire Erlinger, who was one of the presenters at the class of 2012 educational program, works there. So wonderful resource for us to use. Then we've got the resource conservation districts. These folks, they've got Mission Resource Conservation District, which is housed up in Fallbrook, and we've got the Resource District of Greater San Diego, which is housed in Lakeside. These are wonderful resources with regards to soil issues, water issues, And also, they have, each one of these areas has a component where they look at educating school children with regards to agricultural issues and kind of the ag in the classroom type thing. So the Mission Resource Conservation District and the Resource Conservation District, wonderful area to, or wonderful resource for water issues and for soil issues.
So what,
Joni.
under whose jurisdiction are they? Are those government agencies? Are they nonprofit? Are they county? What's the relationship with the Resource Conservation District to?
The question is, what is the relationship of the resource conservation districts to governmental agencies or within the county? I'm not sure about that. That's something I'll need to check into. Does anybody?
I think they're state.
Is it state office? Let me check into that and I'll get back to you and let you know specifically what that is. San Diego County Water Authority is once again a wonderful area for looking at outreach information, education information, and they have something on their website that is it's a landscape calculator. And if you go to this landscape calculator, it will actually ask you a series of questions: where your property is, what types of plants you have, what type of irrigation you have, and at the end of it, it'll give you a watering plan for your property. So it's a wonderful resource that comes through the San Diego County Water Authority. The San Diego County Farm Bureau, it's a political organization that supports agriculture here in San Diego, but they've got two services that they provide on their website that I think are extremely important for us as master gardeners. One of them is that they list all of the county farmers markets. So that's a wonderful resource, not only to know where they're at, but to point people towards that type of an activity. We've actually got several master gardeners that are doing Ask a Master Gardener booth at those types of activities. It's a wonderful connection to the community. In addition to that, the Farm Bureau is a very strong supporter of ag in the classroom. That's, once again, that the curriculum that's available, the resources to teachers, the resources to school gardens, the Farm Bureau looks at supporting that. Another couple resources that we have available here in San Diego County, Wildfire Zone. This actually is administered out of our office. Jan Gonzalez looks at this. This provides individuals with information with regards to looking at their home, looking at their property, preparedness for a wildfire, what to do when a wildfire is happening, and what to do if unfortunately that does happen. It's a wonderful resource that's been put together by Jan Gonzalez in our office. The Solana Center for Environmental Innovation, go-to place for composting. I mean, great information with regards to composting. The next area, the California Center for Sustainability, Energy, Urban Forestry, our own Robin Rebay and her forest mapping program that she was speaking to us at our monthly meeting a couple of months ago, and is actually going to come back and give us some more information with regards to urban trees in the urban forest. Great information there. The Professional Tree Care Association. It's a trade organization, but they provide the public with a couple different mechanisms on what you need to find out from a professional tree care service, and also providing information of certified arborists here in San Diego County. And you can access that information through their website. And the last two things that I have here, and actually there's a third one that I'm going to add to this. We've got the San Diego Botanic Garden, which is previously Quail Garden, the Water Conservation Garden at Cuyamaca, and then also the South Bay Botanical Garden. These are three wonderful demonstration sites for us to use to point, as an information source and to point the public towards when we're looking at water-wise plannings, looking at fire safety issues. These are demonstration gardens that are at our use, available to help us educate the public. So. Okay, the last group of individuals that I want to talk about in San Diego County area, and I really would be remiss if I didn't include them, although they may seem a little bit lofty because they're internationally recognized organizations, but it's the San Diego Natural History Museum and the San Diego Zoological Society. The Natural History Museum has a wealth of information with regards to botany, to insects, and there's actually a, their resource library actually has some over 56,000 volumes in it. There's a database that looks at different types of plants, different types of insects, and basic information about those. It's a wonderful resource. The San Diego Zoological Society, although it's focused on the park, once again has plant species guides on their website, and then what they do is take you and teach you about those plants, and then actually take you to those locations within their facilities, the Safari Park and the San Diego Zoo, and they so that you can see them, see the actual plants. The last three organizations I want to talk to are talk about the San Diego Horticultural Society, the San Diego Floral Association, and the Palomar District of the California Garden Clubs. These are organizations that focus on garden clubs and specialty crop organizations within San Diego County. And it's real important for us to be able to know what types of organizations are out there so that when we get questions in from the public, we're able to point them towards a community organization or an organization within their community that they can get involved with. And additionally, if you get questions that are somebody's interested in, let's say, bromeliads, who better to refer them to than the Bromeliad Society? I mean, it's something that we need to be aware of, and there are two magazines, two documents that are produced by the San Diego Floral Association and the San Diego Hort Society. Let's Talk Plants and California Garden, where not only do they list these different organizations and the contact information, but they also list, which I think is real important for us to know as a gardening organization, the horticultural type activities and events that are taking place here in San Diego County. So we can keep abreast of other things that are taking place in the community and refer people to them, whether it's educational workshops or garden tours or seminars. It's important for us to have this information. These documents, correct me if I'm wrong, but these documents we have copies of in the Hortline office. So
some of them are in there, but I would like to have this in that same book. I'll take a copy and put it in there.
I would like to say that if you're in Balboa Park and you want to wander into the library of the San Diego Floral Association, you will find thousands of books.
Yes.
thank you.
Related to botanical items, everything you want to know about plants and flowers, by plant and flower, is there in Casa del Prado. Between 10 and 3, Monday through Friday.
They don't have a list of them, but that's okay.
Yes. It's right across the patio.
Yeah, and I want to actually thank you so much for bringing the San Diego Floral Society, which is the organization that allows us to meet in Balboa Park, does have a wonderful library that is open Monday through Friday from 10 to 3. It's a wonderful resource for us to use.
Scott,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
San Diego Botanical Foundation is separate from the Floral Association. They actually run the building, so they're the ones who let us use the room.
They're the landlord.
Okay.
The Floral Association is a related, related to the park, a little different.
Okay, thanks. Thank you for correcting me. Laura, did you have a question?
Same thing.
Okay.
You cannot access the books at the Botanical Garden Foundation, but you can at the Floral Association.
Okay, got it. Carol?
One of our former master gardeners is also one of the editors for California Garden.
Yes, Mary James.
Relvin and Carver. And Carver.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mary is the current editor.
Okay, it looks like we're about at the breaking point. We're about halfway through. What I'd like to do is give you guys, is 10 minutes?
Yes.
Enough? Let me give you 10 minutes. We'll come back and we'll start talking about some UC resources.